Today we are talking about a reunion, an idea that would be so crazy and out of this world. By the way, big shout out over to David Bothin for your subscription that just popped up on my screen here. I appreciate it very much, good sir. But today we're heading over to Columbus and talking about the latest on Patrik Laine. You see, last time we had discussed the Fantastic Finn, we had went over how it's apparent that both Laine and the Blue Jackets would be interested in some sort of a trade. Laine would be okay with the change of scenery, the Blue Jackets would be okay with letting his contract go. 26 years old, $8.7 million a season till the end of 25-26 as a big 6'5", 216 right-handed winger. Now, when it comes to Laine, he has been a very good player in Columbus, back-to-back point-per-game seasons with 56 and 52 points, respectively, but this previous season, he was only at half a point a game, he only played 18 games, he was injured, he was in the NHL's Players Assistance Program, he has not left the program for months. And this really is just a situation where if the guy goes out there and gets a new opportunity, he gets a new environment, he's got a new mindset, new coaching staff, new opportunities, new everything, things could really change for the better if Laine is able to work with a brand new coaching staff. Not to disrespect Columbus, it's just the way things have worked out in the past year, it really hasn't gone down any positive path, and as a result, it's easy to see why both of these parties would be okay with a trade. You don't want a guy making $8.7 million just to be sitting out, and if you are the guy making $8.7 mil, you don't want to be in the situation where everything seems to have gone wrong in the past 12 months or so. So, when it comes to the idea of Laine potentially being on the block, that has been discussed, but what I wanted to do was talk about one of the trade options that presents itself in this situation, and it is a very, very fun one. Let's head over onto Twitter, because on Winnipeg Sports Talk's Twitter account, this is the YouTube channel and podcast feed where they talk about the Jets, the Bombers, and all things Winnipeg sports. You had yourselves Mike McIntyre go out there and discuss the idea of Patrik Laine being associated with the Jets in trade rumors once again. I have it on fairly good authority that Laine still holds Winnipeg in extremely high regard. And this, of course, is responding to all of the rumors that have popped up about Laine potentially getting traded back to Winnipeg. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to go ahead and listen to this audio. The full video is also available on their YouTube page, but as you can see with some of the replies here, bring him home. Rutger McGroarty plus Neil Pionk for Laine and Jiricek. And then if you go over to some of these other replies, Laine leaving the door open for medium to lower income Jets fans being able to buy authentic Winnipeg Jets. What is this sentence? I can't even read this. Absolutely everyone would be thrilled with a Scheifele, Vilardi, Ehlers, Laine, Morrissey power play. Make the deal, bring Patrik Laine home, McGroarty, Pionk, let's get it done. It seems like Winnipeg Jets fans are jumping on the train. They want to see Patrik Laine, for the most part, return to the Winnipeg Jets. And I say for the most part because there are some Winnipeg Jets fans that are kind of contentious on the idea. This was posted onto the Our Winnipeg Jets subreddit earlier this morning. Do you actually want Laine back? Mona Luke asks. The news recently that Laine has been linked to Winnipeg has absolutely blown my mind. He has not progressed to be the sniper we had all hoped he would be, and his woes on the defensive side of the game have persisted. Yeah, I understand it seems like he doesn't like Columbus and wants a new start somewhere else, but his contract is massive, and his performance hasn't been anywhere near where we want him to be. I don't think it's a good idea to bring Laine back. I think he was a great dude with a killer dry sense of humor, but all the hype around him coming back feels nostalgic for a 44-goal Patrik Laine that does not exist anymore. What do you think? Why or why not should Laine come back? And the top reply is, yes, bring him home. And then the reply is, why? What does he bring to the Jets roster? How can he help us win? The power play instantly becomes more effective. This is potentially true. Obviously, Laine shot on the power play would be a boon if he still has it. He was scoring at a 32 goal per 82 game pace in Columbus. The player's assistant stuff is allegedly 100% due to mental health related issues. Let's be honest here. You can draw a straight line between those issues and the way he's been treated in Columbus by the organization. Get him back in a supportive environment, and I have very few concerns about his ability. And then there's a conversation as to whether or not the Columbus Blue Jackets have treated him right. They forced him to play center, which was interesting. I don't actually know if they forced him. He wanted to play center. Yeah, that was the thing. I remember making a video about that. A few videos about that, actually. How about you okay, we're not gonna read that. I'm just kidding. Everyone loves this guy and wants him back for the warm and fuzziness of it. Unfortunately, your points are valid, and anyone taking on that contract will never get value out of it. However, if there's a chance that the deal gets about 50% of his salary retained, so from 8.7 mil to about... Oh boy, I suck at mental math. 4. I'm so bad. 8.7 divided by 2. 43.5. Yeah, there you go. $4.35 million a year. Then there is a chance that he could play up to that value. It all depends on what the trade looks like, and if you ask me, the vibes that would come with having him back on the team alone is good enough to get people to buy tickets. Who really knows? Yeah, that's been a pretty big point as of late, the Winnipeg Jets and their fans not being able to buy tickets. But either way, some of the other replies in this thread say, yeah, with salary retained, 100% I want him back. If he can find his rhythm again, he's one of those game breakers that this team desperately needs. It depends on the retention and the trade comparisons. I wouldn't take that contract as is, since it does have negative value. And then you had yourselves the post also posted onto the Our Hockey subreddit. This is what the folks over there end up saying. I remember being kind of sad because he had played an amazing game, and then he got traded right after. I have no idea if there's a fit, but there would be something amazing about Winnipeg unloading Dubois for a haul right before he turns into a pumpkin, and then getting Laine back for next to nothing. That could be peak asset management. When you think about it, if Laine finds himself back onto the Winnipeg Jets like all the rumors have suggested he may, then this would be absolutely perfect. You trade Laine away for Pierre-Luc Dubois, you flip Dubois for a whole bunch of stuff that's very helpful to your team, Vilardi, Iafallo, the picks, the prospects, etc., and then you get Laine for dirt cheap after? And it's not even like Patrik Laine is a bad guy. He was fine the past 2 seasons. It's just this year he wasn't playing much. Point per game guy in back-to-back years with Columbus as a center, too. A position that he's really not comfortable playing and that he's not used to playing. If you can bring this guy back, have him play with Gabe Vilardi, and have some sort of a weird trade tree folding in on itself, 4D sphere, interstellar type whatever thing going on there, then I think it's a pretty good idea. What about you? You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about all the rumors linking Patrik Laine back to the Winnipeg Jets, and the attitude that he himself still holds Winnipeg in high regard? If he has this idea, if he has this sentiment, and he himself is one of the perpetrators pushing for a change of scenery, then who knows what could happen. If you want to see a Laine trade go down, let me know in the comments what do you think the trade return should be. What could the Blue Jackets do to make this worth it for Winnipeg in terms of salary retention? I think 50%, bringing it down to $4.35 million a year, that's a little much, but let's say the contract gets brought down to $6 million. Are you okay with that? Maybe $5.5 million, maybe $6.2 million, whatever. Like, what's the appropriate dollar amount figure that you see for this to be worth it for Winnipeg? Any sort of a salary retention on behalf of the Columbus Blue Jackets to make a Laine trade more stomachable? Because while it is true that he's a good player and he can produce, it's not guaranteed. You know, you still have to acknowledge that this previous season does exist. So it's not like you're trading for an immediate point per game guy who is guaranteed to doing that. You have to just work your way through and make sure that still exists with him before you agree on some sort of a monetary amount in salary retention. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section as to what you think that should all be worth. What do you think the trade price should be for Patrik Laine if it is back to Winnipeg? If you're a Blue Jackets fan, what are your thoughts on what you would want back from Winnipeg to make this trade go through? And if you're an LA Kings, Washington Capitals, Pierre-Luc Dubois fan, how does this make you feel to see a potential Patrik Laine trade back to Winnipeg? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. 99, and bye.